Hey everyone, welcome to the Ground Up Podcast, coming to you from the Level Wellness Studio inside B2 Wellness Suites here in Brentwood, Tennessee. The show that turns pain into pivot and gives you the confidence to build your business. I am Terry Barga. I'm one of your hosts. I'm here with Roy Mangrum.
Hi. We have new lights.
Vanessa Hampton.
Woo!
And an old buddy of mine,
Yeah.
Newton Dominey.
How are you guys?
Doing
Yay
good,
me.
man. Thanks for coming. Roy, do you want the lights on?
No, I just noticed that.
Those are
Is that new?
fancy.
The jury's out on whether they work or not.
I brought
Legit.
those in. I don't know if you guys got my rider. But,
I did. There's Skittles in there, and they're
Okay, cool.
they're all red.
I need my purified bog water from
Yes.
from the Province region. You know?
Ironically, that's what's inside that Defiance fuel
perfect,
bottle.
Perfect.
They told us.
Yeah, just reuse.
They let us
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's good to have you on. And we go a far piece back.
Yeah. Back to the
2010 maybe?
Edge Hill Village.
2010.
Is it everybody from Edge Hill Village that you go back with?
Well,
Seems like we always
if
say,
we're still
"Oh,
friends,
I
then
knew
yes,
him
that's
at
the
Edge Hill
furthest back.
Village."
Yeah.
That's the furthest back I go. So
Okay.
outside of Ohio, which Ian
Okay.
White and I from Safe House Tattoo have a little bit of an Ohio origin story, but Newton, want to kind of get into your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
And I actually don't know. I was thinking about this morning. I don't really know where you started. I just know where I met you.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't too far from the start, I think.
really.
Yeah.
So what did you owned the crag climbing gym for a good bit?
Yeah.
I met you there. I met you through a mutual friend, Russ Hickman.
Yeah.
Where did you start? Like where'd you get bit with the entrepreneurial bug?
I think hindsight's, well, it's always 2020, I guess.
Yeah.
I think some part of me always knew I wanted to do my own thing. But the short and glib answer is I was on drugs. I was working in a.
That's how all entrepreneurial
Yeah.
journeys
Yeah.
start.
Start or end up, one of the ways.
It was that
I
night.
was going to say, or end up.
Thanks, y'all. We'll see you later.
That's the show.
No, so I was working actually at Comdata, wherever it is from here. I don't think it's called Comdata anymore. Thought I was going to be the next Bruce Springsteen, Morrissey, love child, rock and roll star, and was in a job that I didn't enjoy, but I was good at. Things got hard. I started getting treated for anxiety and depression, and literally was on drugs, and they were prescribed.
Well,
Yeah. But had started climbing and had fallen in love with it.
Yeah.
And thought, man, I think I just need to do my own thing. I don't know that this is a long-term role for me. Maybe I'll start a coffee shop or a record store or like things that I was interested in. But I thought, man, Nashville doesn't need another one of those. Maybe I wonder if a climbing gym could work, but there's already one of those. And was talking with a friend actually that owned our largest competitor here in town. And kind of made that comment. And he said, actually, I think the guys down in Franklin might be looking to sell. And he introduced us. I talked with him a couple of times and thought, yeah, I can do this. The start of every good entrepreneurial journey.
Yep.
I can do this better than those guys.
Delusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
drugs and delusion. There's the key to entrepreneurship.
Just buy my book, come to my conference.
Yeah.
But that was kind of it. I spent about 6 months building a business plan, digging through their financials, figuring out what I thought it could look like. And, torched the boats and went for it.
There you go.
In hindsight, there was a truckload of mistakes made.
Oh yeah. Hence the name of the show where we turn pivot into pain into pivot.
But yeah, I just backed myself.
Yeah.
And just went for it. And then just kept learning and growing and learning and growing, and eventually began to scale it.
Yeah. Pun intended, because you was a rock climbing gym.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I didn't think
Well
about
done.
that one.
Well
Yeah.
done. Snuck the dad joke
We're
in there.
all over it today.
Yeah, I'm highly caffeinated,
Yeah.
so this is a mistake, I'm sure.
Yeah. But that was,
Settle in, folks.
I would say, like, that's kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah.
Is it was something I was passionate about. I saw an opportunity, used the skills I had at the time to leverage my way into it, and then just kept going. Mostly focused on, okay, how do I make tomorrow better than yesterday?
Yeah.
How do, like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing?
How long did you own that?
I owned it 2008 to 2017 by myself. 2017, I brought on partners as we opened our second location.
Okay.
So all told, founding owner, all of that. But I was involved with it and owned it for 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's wild. It used to be, I would say, like, man, like half my life, and now it's a quarter of my life.
You stop doing that math.
Yeah. At some point, it's going to be like a single digit percentage.
Yes.
But yeah, like the majority of my working years were spent growing that and doing that thing.
And what, when you weren't involved in it, when you sold, what year was that?
End of 2020, first part of 2021.
Okay. And what did you move to then?
Funny story. So partnerships are hard. And so when I exited, again, the most sanitized version is it didn't go the way I wanted it to. And I worked for a friend's company as a ghostwriter for about 4 years. I was in a position where I needed to not be in front of people. I would say, like, I had a lot of open wounds that I needed to let turn into scar tissue. And so I worked on my couch for about 4 years, writing engineering reports and loving every second of it, getting good at being a work.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
Writing engineering reports and loving every minute of it.
But I was genuinely good at it and enjoyed it. Loved the people that I was working with. And it really gave me a lot of time to, I guess, to like hibernate and hide. I didn't realize until kind of after the fact that that's what I was doing. But yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
And then, gosh, I guess it's probably coming up on 3 years ago. My financial advisor, who had walked with me through the exit and all sorts of different things, we were having a meeting and just talking about, like, what's next and, what am I going to do and all this. And he just started talking about, like, hey, I know that you know how to build a business. I know that you know how to be in a room with people and you get all these concepts. And after he talked for a couple of minutes, I was like, man, David, you're just like pumping my tires to come work for you. And he said, no, but like, I think maybe it's worth a conversation with our team. And almost in the same way that I became a client, I was too scared to tell him no. I was like, yeah, I'll get a free cup of coffee out of it. Came in and met with the team and thought, no, I absolutely don't want to do this. And our chief development officer said, yeah, you may not. You may hate this, but I'm not letting you leave this office until you tell me that you're going to do something more with yourself than what you're doing right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, this is the worst interview ever. And I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody sees something in me that I don't see in myself. And so I'm going to trust them, and did that. And man, I've not looked back. I love what I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. And what is it that you do now?
Oh yeah. I'm a financial advisor. Which is a super fun thing to tell people at cocktail parties.
Right.
If you ever want to stand by yourself at an event, tell somebody that you're a financial advisor. But like at a high level, I help people protect and grow wealth. I help them make better decisions with and about the things that are important to them. And I love that I get to just sit down with people every day hear their stories, hear their goals, learn about what their vision is, and then give them, a concrete plan that is them shaped, not market shaped or not age and stage shaped. That has just like the next 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
And then
it's the exact same thing we do in personal training.
Yeah. It's not that different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have ChatGPT give me a workout plan, and I don't need a trainer, but I do need a trainer to walk alongside me and say, hey, you could probably do that maybe just a smidge better.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, I know today sucks, but tomorrow's going to be better. Let's get through today. Let's get through today's workout.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, yeah, things are bad. Let's pivot. Let's just go get coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's what I do.
That was
all day, every day.
That was one of I think the key thing there for me is like when building relationships back in the day, it's like, I know it now, but I looking back, I didn't really know it then, that I gravitated towards people that were relational and not transactional.
Yeah.
And that is why I think you and I got along so well, especially in the very beginning when we were talking about business and how to grow it. And we were trying to figure out how we could help each other. We did try a couple times.
Handful of things. Yeah.
It wasn't as successful, I think, as either of us wanted it to be, but you're always open to it.
Yeah.
And I always appreciated that too. And I love that part's being carried into what you're doing now, because that's the game changer. Yeah. We talk about that a lot in what we do, even when we're talking, whether we're selling expo booths or, we're working on the magazine or working with tenants here at B2. It's the relationship part of it matters because it helps you better shape your product to fit said individual, like you're saying. But it's an investment in the whole person. And if they end up walking away, but there's still a friendship, and that part's important too. So
and one of the things that I tell people is I want to make sure that whether you ever become a client or not, that you're better off for the interaction with me.
Yes.
Even if it's just 10 minutes and we decide, this probably isn't a good fit or this isn't the right time or whatever. Okay, cool. Like, do I now know somebody that I can refer somebody to? Or do you now have somebody that whatever? It's that relational, like kind of constant, cycle of connection and building that isn't transactional. Like, oh, you can't do anything for me? Cool. Bye. See ya.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I think that is hearing it move with you into a different industry and being approached by someone that obviously has that same mentality, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like the company's kind of shaped that way. That's encouraging to hear.
It's funny. Like I'm going to go do like a speaking thing at my son's tutorial. And I was talking with the teacher for that class. And I said, man, like I wish that when I was 20, I would have known that like vocation and career are two different things.
Yeah.
Like vocationally, vocationally, I help people. That's what I do.
Right.
I can do that in 1,000 different ways. But if I think of like vocation as what's my mission, okay, then I combine vocation with a skill set that I can always modify, always improve, combine that with interest. Well, then the career is going to just go where it goes, but I'm always doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
always
a great
doing something
way to look at it.
like that lands in my chest, not just in my head or my wallet.
I love that. That's something you're going to talk to kids about.
Well, they don't teach kids that.
They don't.
They just say, how are you going to earn money? Which is important, but it doesn't have anything to do with, well, what gets you excited? What do you, they're looking at a lot of times what the dollar sign is of what they can bring in.
Or like, I'm good at math. Do I have to be an accountant? I don't know. Do you like that?
Right.
Like what are other things where you like, why do you like math? Or like, what are ways to apply math to what you're about?
Right.
Like, are you about math? Maybe you should be a professor, like kind of like just let's go a level deeper.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's we're gonna take a quick break, but on the backside of the break, I want to kind of get into some of the a little bit of partnership advice because we want to discuss a lot of things here.
Yeah,
and I know I want to leave time to go over entrepreneurial math, as it were, because there's things to be said. But we'll get to that right after this break.
If you're a wellness or fitness pro looking for a space that truly fits the way you work, check out B2 Wellness Suites. With locations in Brentwood and Mount Juliet, B2 offers private suites, shared offices, and day rentals, all in a calm, welcoming environment designed for our industry. But it's more than just a space, it's a community of like-minded professionals who support, inspire, and grow together. Learn more at b2suites.com.
I like to applaud myself on being really good at hitting go on that clock. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, we're some Ground Up podcast, and we're here with our good buddy Newton Dominey, and we're talking all things entrepreneurship, partnership, and finance, because there's a lot to unpack there. I wanted to go back to something you said about taking the job, and retreating a bit. There is something there that's important that entrepreneurs need to hear. Because there's a lot of pressure, especially if you're forward facing.
Yeah.
And maybe you're an introvert and a practiced extrovert, like being on and being in front takes a toll on the body. I just wondered if you could give a little bit of insight to like how people could write that into their lives, or how it's different for you now as opposed to doing a 4-year stint.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I would be hesitant to make it formulaic. Of like, well, make sure that you're giving yourself this, that, or the other.
Yeah, sure.
But I think, one, not everybody's an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. My wife, who is downstairs, owns a successful practice. She's not an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. She owns her own business. Mm-hmm. She has no desire to scale it. She has no desire to build it, get out of it, do the next thing. She's a technician. Mm-hmm. And I think like there's a book that I read, 18 years ago called The E-Myth that talks about that. Yeah. And realizing, this is how I'm wired, or this isn't how I'm wired. I think a lot of it comes down to knowing where you get energy. For me, knowing where I get energy, knowing where I lose energy, paying attention to that, and surrounding myself with people that, if I have to be in an energy out mode, can give me energy back, mm-hmm. or that can do that energy out thing that I'm not good at. Mm-hmm. Because, for the better part of 13 years, I was the face of an organization, the face of a business. Mm-hmm. And after a while, that got really heavy. Yeah. Like I changed a lot over 13 years. I learned about myself a lot in that time. But like it was hard to, I don't know if it was hard to let go of that identity, but it was hard to replace that role in the business. Yeah. And so then that can make it more of a burden. Mm-hmm. Of like, oh man, I don't want to do this event, or I don't want to, but it has to be me. Mm-hmm. And like, that's kind of a death sentence. Well, that has to be me thing.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I think if you're an entrepreneur or service provider or a technician in that sense, like to kind of use that terminology, there's a difference between what entrepreneurship looks like. It's typically gross scale sell. Yeah. Right. You're just a business owner, or a service provider is, I'm going to do this until I don't want to do it anymore. Right. Basically, that the weight of the two is very different. As the leader, especially bringing on partners, and I know you brought on partners from corporate America. Yeah. And that's different too. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. Roy's dealing with that right now. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're responsible for vision. Yeah. You're responsible for a company culture. You're responsible for, these numbers don't line up. What are you going to do about it? Like, the profit loss. They look to you for a marketing plan or a strategy or of what's worked in the past. Right. It's so many elements that are coming at you from different angles that even if you weren't recluse before, you get a chance to hide for a second.
Well, it's drastically different when you're going to watch that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
You have to. It's your livelihood.
Right.
But somebody gives you a little bit of money and now they're holding you accountable for the same stuff it's a different level of stress.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
And it's a different, one of the things I've realized just over the last 6 months is I spent more or less all of the time when I was the sole owner just operating by instinct. I mean, I still had a brain and I was smart, but if like it felt okay, yeah, let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? Changing the organizational structure, doing those things in a lot of ways moved my role from my chest to my head.
Yeah.
And so, do you see that as a positive?
It was out of balance.
Because we talk about that. They are more numbers driven, and they're looking at, Roy always says, look at the numbers and forward thinking with that. And I'm more of the instinctual that you're talking about. And I need more of them.
Well, but it's a balance.
It is.
Not,
and that's
why it works. That's
it's not all numbers. I don't make a decision without looking at the numbers, but if it don't feel right,
you're not going to do it either.
You're not going to do
it. I mean, it's sort of like a financial statement.
Yeah.
Sure.
A profit and loss isn't a financial statement. A balance sheet isn't a financial statement. Together, they tell the story. But I think for me in that, it started putting a lot of self-doubt into, man, maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe it created all this hesitation, which wound up putting a parachute and a swamp boat fan in front of some of my skills.
Yeah.
To where like the thing that I was kind of good at, I no longer trusted.
That's the part of it that I think is, to further illustrate it, you're as an entrepreneur, you have to be somewhat accustomed to risk.
Yeah.
You've got to be, and you got to get good at it. You do have to get better at risk analyzation and the speed in which you do so. And doing that as a sole proprietor, operating off of your instinct or your gut, proves that you can do that. And then you move it into a corporate situation, which we often need to. We need to have systems and processes and strategy. But if it starts to stifle that risk-taking ability that you have, that's where it becomes very, very difficult to be like, I don't know what you want. All I know is this is how I do. Like I do it this way.
Yeah, and information, data. Data and information are two different things.
Yeah.
But like data and information should, in a way, back instinct.
There you go.
It's like advanced analytics in sports.
It's a good way to say it, yeah.
If you're looking at something like soccer, like XG matters, but you can't ignore what you're seeing with your eyeballs.
Yeah.
And again, they all should work together. But I think, the world's different now than it was, 6 minutes ago. But the world's different now than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
so did you bring in, just for clarification, did you bring in a corporate partner?
So not corporate.
Okay.
I mean, they had corporate background. They worked in corporate America.
Okay.
But, part of my own ignorance, and I'm not saying ignorance is a bad thing. I just didn't have exposure and awareness. But part of my own ignorance, and I think just where the marketplace was at the time, I think ultimately the better decision on my part would have been to look at something like some fractional roles. A fractional COO, fractional, maybe even fractional CF, probably fractional CFO, and investors. The only playbook I knew, the only song I knew to sing was, I need to expand. I need partners.
Yeah.
I need to expand my knowledge base. I need to expand a skill set. I need partners.
And partners and investors are different.
Yes.
Very different.
And explain the difference between partners and investors.
An investor gives me money expecting a return. They're taking a risk on that return. A partner is getting an ownership stake.
Gotcha.
A partner is getting equity. An investor is hoping to get return on investment.
And an investor is not active in the business in the same way that a partner is typically?
It depends on the partnership.
Okay.
Some partners are like, give me 10% of the company. I'm going to give you X dollars. And
you never hear from them.
And you never, an investor is probably only calling if they're not getting reports they like. Yeah. Or if they're getting reports they don't like. And I think a lot of times investors and investing has a finite end point.
That makes sense.
You're going to give me $100,000. I'm going to get 125 back in 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And some partners,
whereas a partner goes into perpetuity.
Yeah.
And some partners are like, I don't like the toilet paper that's in the bathroom.
Right.
I mean, it gets very granular.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great distinction.
Mm-hmm. And I think for a lot of people that are watching this that have never had partners or investors, myself included, to this point in life, knowing the difference between that's great information of options when you get to that point.
And, I joke with my advisor, sorry, Ezra, I just threw that mic all the way away from me. But I joke with my advisor and say, man, Smalls, the only thing I don't like about you is that you didn't show up in my life 5 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because going back to I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
I didn't go to college for business or entrepreneurship. I didn't have a background in this, so I could only learn through exposure and trying to put myself in better rooms and around better people that could guide me. And I think in hindsight, and what I would tell somebody that is just at the start of that journey or they're thinking about how to scale is like, man, the first thing to do is put a team around you. And I don't mean a team of cheerleaders, because cheerleaders are like defense, go, go, go. I mean like a team of coaches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that's like, your form sucks, dude. Or like, are you always going to run this slow? Someone that's going to encourage you, but also say, no, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Right.
That is for you, but that is looking at things in a more analytical way.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, I didn't have that team.
Mm-hmm.
I not on purpose, but just with the way it was.
Well, and sometimes you don't know that. Yeah, you don't know.
I didn't really know I
needed
a team. And so, I don't know how we wound up there, but
no, it's helpful context because listeners and viewers, like, there is a lot of different angles to which people are checking out this show, and I want to. Differentiating those two things is very important, just like differentiating the difference between an entrepreneur and a service provider, because where we go from here is really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you look back at it, is there in the partnership that you had, was there a single common denominator that you wish was prevalent that if you could do it all over again with the partnership, that you would make sure you had buttoned up or at least communicated?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is probably before we put ink to paper, we agreed on, we like to have not a board of directors, but to like have agreement on, hey, who are the outside voices that when we can't figure out what to do or we're at loggerheads, we can go to.
So how did you pause that thought for a second? How did you find your partner? What did you just already know?
Yeah, one was a friend,
okay.
A longtime friend, and the other was a former colleague of his.
Okay.
That was looking for kind of an entrepreneurial endeavor.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I would say that would be one thing in hindsight that I would have said, like, before we do anything, we're doing this. And then the other thing, so like board of advisors, advisory board, board of directors, something like that. The other thing would be to agree on implementation of a system, whether it's we're going to use, now I'm forgetting about EOS.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we're going to use EOS or whether we're going to use this thing over here.
Sure.
But to agree on a system of goal and target identification, goal and target measurement, and goal and target execution.
Right.
That was something that we didn't put in place that I think ultimately created a lot of tension of
expectations weren't
roles, responsibilities.
And I think it also created the sense where, somebody's speaking English, someone's speaking French, someone's speaking Greek. and we're all trying to say the same thing, but there's not this agreed upon common language, common measurement tool. And so we're all looking at the same thing from 3 different ways. So those would be the 2 things, like right out of the gate.
I think that I think we've gone through those things too, and they've been necessary improvements, even though they help shape us to be more refined in the way we execute. But ultimately, we didn't end up like fully going into like speaking to EOS or the traction model. We didn't fully stay there, but we learned what we needed to learn to create our own process in that way, what that operating system looks like. But, we're going to get into something that entrepreneurs don't like to talk about right after this break, and that's money. We'll be right back.
At Optimize You, we believe that normal is not optimal. Whether you've been dabbling in hormones or this is your first time and you want to know where to get started, we make the hormone optimization process very simple. Simply get started with comprehensive labs, and our providers will take it from there with you to review where you are right now and where you want to be to ultimately help you achieve your health and performance-related goals. So from our expertise in hormones, peptides, all the way to recovery services, we want you feeling at your optimized best so that you ultimately feel better physically, mentally, and sexually. Just like hormones playing a significant role in the overall optimization of your health, so do recovery services help your body on a cellular level. From our sensory lounge to our infrared sauna, full body red light, full body cryotherapy, cold plunge, we have a wide range of performance recovery services just for you.
And we're back. Ground Up Podcast. Roy, Vanessa, Terry, and Newton. Hi, Newton.
Hello.
Before the break, we were talking about the things that you would do in hindsight, and I want to make sure we finish that statement, because there are, for the listeners out there that are considering whether a partnership or an investor or what it looks like to operate as a unit when you haven't been one. Yeah. Let's punctuate that sentence.
I'd like to know what you said, what you would like for looking back, what you would have implemented. What did that actually look like in summary when that wasn't in place for you?
Yeah. I mean, it turned into, I think, lots of voices and lots of ideas, and not necessarily the same degree of ownership.
Did you have?
And that's not to say that they weren't invested in working their tails off like I was working my tail off, but just
was it an even split in the partnership? Were you still the majority partner, or how did you do that?
I was the single largest owner, but in the grand picture, I did not own 51% of the business.
Okay.
But I was the largest single shareholder.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I would boil it down to getting real clear on who's going to do what that means.
A good operating
roles
system.
And responsibilities.
And, things like, okay, what's our rhythm for pulling away from the business and going and looking at things? What's the tool we use to measure that? And then doing it. Like over and over and over and over.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in the everyday of being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and doing the thing without taking a step back and taking that time to actually look at the thing to make it better and improve your processes and figure out what needs to happen next.
Like a roller coaster needs to go up at some point, or it just crashes.
Probably the hardest
and it's
part.
less fun.
Probably the hardest part.
At some point, it gets terrifying. If it only goes down, it's going to crash. If it just stays flat, like, cool, nice parade. So, like, it needs those times to climb back up. And I think a business cycle needs those times where we pause, we reset, we climb back up, get some perspective.
And prioritizing that. Yeah. Because it's easy not to prioritize that. Well, we're too busy to do that. Well, are you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a great segue. It's like in the world of priorities. So what we're talking about here is creating benchmarks, right? Understanding, having a vision, and it has to have marching orders. It does have to have day 1. Here's what we do. Day 50. Here's what we do. Right. So we, as business owners or entrepreneurs, are really good at taking risk. Oftentimes, I say that oftentimes. even to the point where we'll risk every last cent.
Yeah.
So I would like to let's migrate into what this looks like, because I want to talk from startup to scalability if we can, and maybe some of the lessons that you learned along the way. And guys, feel free to chip in here, because we all have our own unique experiences.
I thought this was an intervention for just a moment.
No. Roy's like, why does that lights get hot all of a sudden? No, like
I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Just push
I gotta go.
It reminds me of Springer, just pulling the microphone off and walking away. No, like what's it look like to make that jump? What's it look like to take that risk? And maybe we start there.
You mean to launch the business?
Yeah, let's get right out to day one.
I think and I'll speak with I want to speak with perspective.
Sure.
Because I spent a lot of time on what was going to go well. Mm-hmm. I didn't make a lifeboat plan.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I do with clients now is we're going to plan for everything to go well. And that's what most business plans and strategies look like. Yeah. After we've made $100,000 in net profit this quarter, it's like, okay, well, what happens if you don't?
Right.
So I think from the jump, making a lifeboat plan, instead of just a success plan, which I think is what a lot of business plans look like, especially if you're out there trying to attract an investor or a bank or whatever. Who's ever going to say hey, I want you to marry me, but I just want you to know that I snore a lot and I leave the toilet seat up.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm awesome. Make the not awesome plan.
Yeah.
And have that kind of in the back pocket so that when things don't go to plan, which is a certainty, the panic goes away or the panic reduces. And there's that reminder of no, I knew I was going to take this risk. I know that risk is always, there's a coin flip involved.
Yeah.
What's the backup?
Yeah, that's now I feel like it's my intervention, Roy. That was one of the key things that
this is definitely a do what I say, not what I've done.
Well, thing. I will say I've been in business for myself for 20 years, here in Nashville for 18. I've been working with Roy for 5, maybe a little more than 5 years. Coming into our partnership, that was a very, very helpful thing to have somebody be like, hey, necessary risk or unnecessary risk? I'm like, great question. I haven't thought about that. So it's it could be that simple of having that person in your life that has the entrepreneurial, background, and can challenge you in a way that doesn't make you feel small.
Well, and for me, I went from, you were talking about being the entrepreneur versus the service professional, and I've never put it in my mind about the difference between, I've just never explored that. But I was a business owner. I've been a business owner for 16 years.
Yeah.
I was not an entrepreneur until I opened B2. And I didn't even know that I had that in me. Things kept growing as a business owner, but I did it because, here's a need. More people need me. How am I going to make that happen? Yeah. That was the whole thing from the beginning. So when I opened B2, it was terrifying. I was doing it for the same reason. People need this, and I know they need this. So I went into it not with a success plan, because that was not my priority, quite honestly.
Yeah.
My priority was, okay, my plan B is I can rent these offices to Joe Schmo if I have to, but that's not, I want to give it a good go. So what I could have done better was have that, this is what this looks like if it's successful, instead of just feeling my way through it the whole time. And how much of a timeline am I going to give myself? Where is that specific goal of having it, that meeting the heart with the brain kind of situation?
Yeah. And I think, and I've learned this probably more through working with business clients than in my own practice or my own experience as a business owner. But most business owners exit their business at absolutely the wrong time. Kind of like what you were saying, if you're an entrepreneur, it should be launch, scale, exit. Most business owners don't have that plan, and it's cool. I'm riding it. And then they don't.
And, this is terrifying.
Or, this is amazing. I don't want to get off the ride.
Yeah.
And at some point, and we talk about this, when we talk about investing with clients, it's at some point you got to lock in the game, and
that's a great way to say it.
Yeah. So I would say if I was doing this again, if I was sitting down with, someone about to launch a business, I would say start with the end in mind and identify your exit ramps.
Yep.
So what do I want this to look like? When I leave, it's not a marriage, right? A prenup is okay.
Right.
Brooke and I don't have a prenup. We're going to be married until we're dead and 400 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
In business, start with what the exit looks like.
Mm-hmm.
When do I want to get out?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to scale and sell? Do I want to run this until retirement and then pass it on to my kids?
Right.
Do I want to bring apprentices up that take it over? Do I turn it into an ESOP or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Have an idea of what the end looks like, because that's going to inform everything.
A lot of decisions
from there. It's like, I'm old enough to remember when I used to have to get a paper map out and chart mileage.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know how much gas I need. I don't know where I need to stop if I don't know how far I'm going.
Yeah.
So identify like where peak exit looks like, peak end looks like, and then identify what those exit ramp. And I think of that as like the evaluation point of, all right, we've gone from scrappy startup, everything's just crazy, to stability. Is this where I want to get out?
Right.
Do I have here's a decision point. Okay, nope, I'm still good. I still want to stay in. It feels right, whatever. What does my team say? My brain trust. Next phase, next exit ramp. Okay, now we've gotten to here. Am I in or am I out? It's not one long story. It's almost episodic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. The tough part when you mentioned that, a lot of entrepreneurs don't know, it is launch, scale, sell. That space between scale and sell is the tricky space, because if you're locking in the gain, it means you're selling at the height when it's the most exciting to run it.
Right. Yes.
It's true. When it gets a little bit easier.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I finally arrived. Why would I get off?
Exactly.
Why would I get off the roller coaster now?
Right.
Well, it's like the point isn't to ride it into the ground.
No.
So it's identifying and having that idea in mind, even if I decide, no, I want to stay in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have I built an exit for myself there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take some money out of the business so I have a second egg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull something out so that I've locked in a gain, and then I'm gonna keep riding. But doing that, I think it's a constant, maybe not constant, but a continual measure and assess.
Yeah.
That
when you're talking about start with the end in mind, let's get a little bit more detailed. If there's risk and you're analyzing risk and you're trying to stabilize a business, I don't want to use Ramsey terms here and get in trouble, but is there an emergency fund? Is there savings? What does it look like money wise?
Yeah. So full disclosure, when I built the first business plan and was going through all the revenue and all that, I didn't put my own salary in.
Yeah.
I didn't know better. I thought, I just get what's left.
I think that's how a lot of us approach it.
That doesn't happen.
It does not happen.
There's never money left.
No.
There's never money left.
And so the thing that I'm doing now, because I basically own my own business, is I'm not my business.
Right.
I operate my business. I am not my business. Mm-hmm. So I'm building a business savings account. I'm taking money from my financial planning practice out of the practice, out of the business, and putting it into something else that's growing.
Yeah.
Because I may never be able to sell my planning practice for 10x revenue or whatever.
Sure.
So realizing that by nature, when I'm putting myself into a business, I'm throwing everything I have into it. I mean, I think that's the case for most business owners, most startups. Realizing okay, I'm pulling something out here. I'm pulling something out here. I'm getting some of me back. Because the exit may not look like I want it to look.
Sure.
Maybe the crash comes sooner than I thought. Maybe whatever. So knowing that regardless of when I get out, I've planned for that exit somehow, some way. I've started the SEP IRA. I've had this emergency fund that maybe I never had to tap, and I can pull that. But doing those things so that the Venn diagram of business and personal from a financial standpoint aren't an eclipse, you know? So that there's some separation and just continually kind of clicking that over. I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. It answers the question perfectly. And you've got experience with this because, Roy, you were working. I remember when we first started working together, there were 2 monitors. There was you're on this call while talking to me while having this other thing. Like, you were purposeful and intentional at building or putting away income from the one thing to give you the reason to jump into the other thing. So you've literally put that into practice.
Yeah, I did it for 12 full months. Paid myself into an account so that when I did make the jump full time, I knew I was going to get paid for 12 months.
Right.
But it's funny, like what you were saying, like it's funny if you don't budget your pay in, it won't be there. If you do budget your pay in, the outcome's exactly the same, except now you're paid.
Right.
The business doesn't suffer. The business doesn't, it always finds a way. You know what I mean? As long as you're doing, the little things every day that keep the thing running.
Yeah. And go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying you'll be surprised what you won't miss, and it's happened to me over all those years. Like, first time we got a warehouse, I'm like, we can't afford a warehouse. There's no money. We got a warehouse. We never missed a payment. Well, what changed? Nothing. Nothing changed.
I want to crack that open. I know I wanted to give you a chance to respond to that because there's some important stuff. We'll do that right after this break.
Introducing our Berry High Seltzer, the ultimate cannabis-infused experience. Maybe you're trying to cut back on the booze or get some of THC's sweet benefits. Our Berry High Seltzer invites you to savor the experience responsibly. Not only is it delicious, but our seltzers provide a federally legal way to unwind.
All right, guys, we're back. And I want to give Newton. I want to give you a chance to respond to Roy's plan. I think that was a brilliant plan. I actually wish when I first jumped from the last job I had, where I say I went to business school because I was just paid attention to how they ran the thing. I remember my boss coming up to me after I told him I was gonna leave and give him 30 days notice. He's like, "Well, I sure hope you got a nest egg built up and that you're ready to make this jump." And I was like,
"You're like, what?
What's
I forgot.
A what?
What's a nest egg?" And
I didn't cross that step off.
It didn't stop me. It's the crazy thing. Like, gosh dang, if I could do it all over again.
No, I think you're exactly right. And whether you're using that money that you're pulling out to launch the next thing, or you're just preparing yourself for future success. I mean, I tell my clients all the time, the habit of saving is far more important than the vehicle that you're putting it into.
That's exactly right.
And so, and the other thing is that there's really only 2 kinds of people, and it's the same thing in business. You've got people that spend first and save second, and save first and spend second. And in business, I kind of think of spending as the revenue growth. If I save first and I say, all right, hell or high water, I'm taking 10% of something, or I'm taking 5% of something and I'm setting that aside and I'm locking it up. If I do that, as revenue goes up, that 5% may not ever have to be more than 5%, but that number's going to get bigger and it will naturally drag that scalability, that spending power up. If I spend first and save second, spending goes up, but it never pulls saving with it. It sits on top of it like it's on the lid. It squashes it.
Yeah.
And so I would say if I could do it all over again, I would have immediately started with, all right, I'm building this plan. I'm building this revenue model with 10% of revenue or whatever it is that I land on is getting put into something else other than the business. Because I know I've complained about this with you. I felt like our revenue and expense lines always were on parallel tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, it's because I was never forcing the saving.
Yeah.
I was never building that muscle.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, cool. I finally got $2 more. It's going to go here.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, revenue went up 10%. I can finally go spend it.
Yeah.
I'm just tracking it backwards.
And I've done both ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the second way does not work.
Yeah.
I found out the hard way.
Yeah. And it's the same.
We all
in
do, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same in personal finance that it is in business
Yeah.
finance.
Right.
You know, I tell people, you know, I do some work with people in their late 20s, early 30s. I do a lot of work with people that are way older, more like 50 like me. And I tell the people that are my younger clients, I'm like, please don't ever use diminishing language around your savings capacity.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just save $100 a month, well, you're doing that now when you're 27. That's going to go a lot further when
Yeah.
you're 50.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to save a lot less because you're giving yourself the gift of time. I didn't do that when I started the business, and it was almost impossible to catch that train because I kept at, I almost swore on your podcast. I kept
I do it all the time.
Oh, really?
They
No, don't do
If I would have known, but like, I just kept adding shit to the bottom line.
Yeah. There it is. There it
You
is.
know, I kept adding to the expense side
Sure.
of the category and never created that savings side of the category, partly out of fear of having money set aside. I mean, like being taxed on it.
Yeah.
And the reality is for almost every business, it's almost always an LLC,
Yeah.
which is a pass-through entity that just gives you legal protection. There's no real accounting help there or
Yeah.
tax help. Dude, just set the money aside.
Right.
Yeah.
Lock it away. Put it in a different bank account. Put somebody else in charge of it. Because in that regard, I'm my own worst enemy.
Right.
My
You know?
CPA would tell me, I'm like, I just don't want to pay. He's like, dude, as opposed to losing money, you don't want to pay taxes off of money you have. Okay.
Yep.
Good point.
Right.
Lock
It's
in
a hard
the
balance.
game.
Yeah.
How dare you challenge my
But
point?
it's like, so growing up, I was never a saver.
Yeah.
But when I started going through this exercise in this business, it's like first thing every morning, I pull up the bank account, I move money from one savings account to the other, or from the checking to the savings,
Yep.
from the daily deposits, and I can't touch it till payday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it transfers zeals to myself.
Yeah. And I was like, because we had to deal with sales tax. I was terrified of showing up to the gym one day
Mhm.
and having padlocks on the doors because I
hate
hadn't paid sales tax.
Oh, I hate
I'm
it.
sorry, I'm not paying sales tax. I'm collecting and passing on sales tax.
Yeah, that's it.
And so I was adamant, you know, every day or once a week, sliding that money over into the tax holding account. But I never did that for the business saving or Newton's get out of jail that isn't the right way to put it. But like
But no,
Newton's parachute.
Right. Yeah.
it's
or
what's
whatever.
important.
Yeah.
The tax, like, oh, I can't get the door locked. Well, what if you don't get paid? I'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's
How's that?
what-
going
We
for you?
do.
Yeah.
We actually
do it to
don't
ourselves all the time.
prioritize our own pay.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
That comes last after everything else because
Yeah.
we think, okay, well, this is more important.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that is probably, if we all had to look at it, that's probably one of the biggest stressors that we create for
Yeah.
ourselves because we do not prioritize that on a regular
Mhm.
basis.
Yeah. You know, I do believe, like Simon Sinek says, leaders eat last.
Mhm.
Business owners have to get paid first.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that, and I didn't have that right. I thought like, man, I got to get paid last. I got to pay my people. Well, yeah, I'm obligated to pay them. But at the start, I didn't build that in there for myself. I didn't build that margin to say, yeah, okay, maybe we don't grow 400% over the first 4 years in revenue. Maybe I hamstring myself, create that
Yes.
limitation
Mhm.
on the front end that unlocks me later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just take that call.
Take your meds.
It's that entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
The phone is never off.
Yeah.
I know we're getting close here on time, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk to folks about some things that I think is not well known. Like as if you're jumping into entrepreneurship, or you are an entrepreneur right now and you're thinking, man, money management sounds like an expensive thing, or the same things aren't available to me that would be available as a benefit from a corporate job. Can you maybe myth bust some of that stuff for us?
Yeah. You know, I think it's a common misperception that the government system and how we tax people and all that. Mm-hmm. This isn't to get into the politics of it at all, but that it's against business owners.
Right.
The opposite is true.
Right.
It's actually set up to favor business owners, and knowing how to navigate that. Like, I would say, like, maybe the best way to do that is have a team, like have a brain trust around you, have a legal mind. Yeah. You got to have an attorney. Maybe you're not paying them on retainer, but you have to have an attorney. Have an accounting mind, have a CPA. You've got to have a risk management mind. And for a business owner, that's going to look like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
Got to have a wealth building mind, and you've got to have a comprehensive mind at your table that's looking at all of those things on your behalf. To say, hey, yep, soon as we start seeing some black at the bottom of the balance sheet or the P&L, we got to do the SEP IRA. Yeah. Or, hey, you just hired your first W-2, they're full-time, let's look at the solo 401, like simple IRAs, things like that. Someone that's helping you like identify those things that you can do when you can do it, mm-hmm. and getting them in place sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have all those people, find one of them and ask who you should be working with.
Yeah.
You know, does that answer your question?
It does. And I just think back to what that would have looked like back in the day when I owned those gyms. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We found our way through it, but it didn't.
Yeah. But this is why we do this podcast, so that
exactly
we can maybe offer some things that people don't have to reinvent the wheel and learn.
We're coming
the
to you
hard
from
way.
the future.
Right.
But
don't make our same mistakes.
Yeah. But in hindsight, you know, and this is one of the reasons I love sitting down with business owners now. Yeah. Is to say, hey, let me sit in that comprehensive and wealth building and part of that insurance mind seat for you. I'm not going to do your taxes, but I look at taxes differently than your CPA. You know, I'm not your attorney, but I'm thinking about the long-term impact of your exit. Mm-hmm. Like, let me come and sit in there and help pull you out of the hamster wheel, the merry-go-round, to look at things in a analytical way, and help you make decisions, and,
when a lot
be
of
your
times
advocate for yourself.
For us, we think if we haven't had somebody look at that before, it's a little intimidating of what are they going to see and how are they going to judge
or embarrassing
up in doing that.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I don't know, like, I'll speak for myself, just like I don't do diminishing language. I don't do shame. Don't tell me, I'm not going to allow you to beat yourself up in front of me. I'm not going to allow you to say just or only. Like, progress is always 100%.
Yeah. I love that.
You know, and so let's sit down, let's chop it up, let's get into it, and like just see what's the next 1, 2, 3 things that we can do mm-hmm. to improve tomorrow or 10 years or whatever. And let's just, you know, do that cycle, repeat that cycle.
I love it. I think it's great information. I think we're going to have you back to go through this some more. Newton, give everybody where they can find you, our listeners, and maybe get some more information.
I think probably the easiest way, I guess it's my website. It's just my first name and last name, which please put that on the screen. Don't make me spell it. But it's my first name and last name.nm.com.
Okay.
Or, I mean, call, text, 615-727. Oh my gosh, almost just forgot my phone number. 615-727-8232.
Okay. We'll put all that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you're on the road and you're driving or whatever on the radio and you missed all of that, head over to the YouTube channel. You can check it out, or to NashvilleFitMagazine.com, and you can see the episode and you can grab that information from the show notes there. Guys, this has been awesome.
Man, I'm super grateful for the conversation.
Yeah, I wish we had another hour because this is fun. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in and listening. Your support means the world to us. We couldn't do what we do without you there listening. So we hope that you found it useful. And if you did, that you share it with your friends and give us a positive rating. Speak for these jokers here. And as we're behind the ones and twos, we say thank you, and we'll catch you on the next one.